Is it worth it? These are two questions before, during, and after marriage. This really pertains to anybody. Is this worth my life? And when I say my life, I really mean my energy, my time to other people. Is it worth my life? The second question, is this worth my death? Is this worth my sacrifice? Sacrifice of what? Our life, our energy, everything that we are. Ecclesiastes 4:12, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. We're like a strand that is being tugged in different directions. And we have to decide what is truly pulling my heart, what is truly pulling me away from the relationships that I have with other people, and more importantly, what is pulling me closer to the people around me. My worth is defined by others. This is a lie. The problem is not that we are held to standards by other people, it's when we live in unrealistic standards of other people. So the second thing is that your worth, their worth, is defined by feelings. Anger is a real feeling. Hurt is a real feeling. We have all these things. We have real feelings that come against us. But your feelings are not worth losing your worth. There are men and women who are fighting every single day against themselves. There are broken relationships that happen from addictive behaviors, all these sorts of things that tear people apart because it lessens and cheapens the worth of yourself and the people around you. There's hope, and I want to dive into John chapter 11. Jesus said to all the disciples, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but now I will go and wake him. The disciples said, Lord, if he is sleeping, he will get better soon. So Jesus said, Lazarus is dead, and for your sakes, I'm glad I wasn't there. For now you will really believe. Come, let's go see him. Thomas said to his fellow disciples, let's go to and die with Jesus. Jesus and the disciples had just been in Judea a short time before, and the people of Judea tried to stone Jesus. And so they're going back into this place where they are coming against people who want to kill them. Just like Thomas said, let's go die with Jesus. To you, what I'm saying is die to yourself and let Jesus come in. And Jesus shouts out and he says, Lazarus, come out. Jesus had already called out Lazarus. He told his disciples he is dead. For you, as Jesus calls us out for what we have done, he has also called us out from that sin. He says, come out of the grave. You weren't meant to stay there. I have worth for you. Jesus defined worth. He says, come out of the grave. And when you can't come out of the grave and you don't feel like you have the strength and you're struggling, there is a God who is willing to come into that grave so that you don't have to stay there. In our relationships, they're broken because we are broken people. But in the midst of it, God says, you might try to define my worth, but I am going to define the worth that I have for you and for myself.